All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Swain Batty League. We are about to start week 5 here, end of the first round robin. I am 30, just a guy, maybe not commissioner, who knows. And I'll be joined tonight by Swift for the first casting of the game. First game, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing well. I am also just a guy, may or may not be the commissioner of the league. No one might ever know besides you and I.
That is very true. Yeah. Before we hop into game here, we'll quickly go over MVPs from last week. Week 4 here. Game 1, Master Splinter once again from Think Twice, the Scrappy affiliates. Hecarim 11, 2, and 9. Seriously, folks, we gotta put an end to this. There's 5 bans in the games now. Swift, what do you think about this?
I, I don't know, man. What do you do? This guy just. No one's ever played against a jungler like him before. Except for him. For 4 years now. He hasn't changed.
Yeah, I know. And then game 2, Purple Pickle Pie on Kled, 6-1 and 14 in the top lane. 4 pot of greed. Outstanding performance there. Really the true carry of that team. Most likely we'll keep doing that for the future weeks here. And then game 3, Dub Jum on Coffee House, playing his Zac 7-1 and 15 from the jungle. So congrats to all those guys from last week. They played really well. And we'll get started with the draft here soon. There we go. Looks good. Get a ready check from everybody, and we will start it up. So tonight we got OTB on the blue side, 0 and 4. KIKAS 2 and 2 on the red side. How do you feel about this matchup tonight?
Well, I wouldn't have felt great going into this matchup because when you start 0 and 4, things typically don't go well. There was a team once, Team Flashlight, many years ago, started 0 and 4, proceeded to go to Game 5 of the finals, but I'm not going to go predicting that for every 0 and 4 team. Most of them get to 0 and 4 because they suck, and OTB has not looked good, and even worse, they are running an emergency sub tonight, Mr. Black Paladin. This guy, I don't know what the hell he plays. He's gold 4, so I mean, at least they're not bringing in the silvers. But they are without Hook Resets, who has normally been their support, or has been their support player half the time. Hibbs has been their support player the other half the time. And then they're also missing TD Garbage, aka Thor, who has been garbage in the jungle.
Yeah. If anything, this might be a better lineup with this emergency sub.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, this team hasn't had a whole lot of synergy to begin with, so maybe putting in an emergency sub is just kind of the thing they need to get over the mental hump. They can just kind of play this game a little more like solo queue, because there are obviously some talented players on this team. Maybe they just need to play more like solo queue to have a chance of pulling a game out. So that's the best case scenario, is that's what happens. But most of the time, you're not going up against Thrifty Senpai to Mighty Wolf when you got to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've definitely have seen it in the SBL. I've been on teams where if you go on a bad losing streak and you're just not figuring out what's going wrong, just a change of pace and just play, yeah, like you said, play it more like solo queue. Just play it more fast and loose. Play to have fun. Don't get too caught up in macro decisions to the point where like it's you guys are like fighting over that kind of stuff. Just play your lanes, play to have fun, and they might squeak out a win today. But looking unlikely. We have the fully locked and loaded KIKAS lineup here today that has shown success, and they seem to be getting better as the weeks go on.
Yeah, they've been kind of a little inconsistent. I mean, they lost to TSA, who's undefeated last week, so you don't want to hound on them too much for that. But they're kind of hitting stride. I mean, we knew a team with Thrifty Senpai and a Mighty Wolf would eventually be a really good team. And over the last 3 weeks, they've kind of shown it doesn't really matter what happens. Like when you have two players that are just two of the best players in the whole league, it's you're gonna just win games. You're gonna win lanes. You're gonna win fights, regardless of anything else that's going on. And we blow through the bans here. Once again, Thrifty and Mighty Wolf drawing all the bans for their team, and then a lot of the typical bans going against one-trick bronies. Sinister Beyblade, I don't think is going to touch that Katarina once this season. No matter how badly things are going for OTB, I don't think any team is going to let that through.
And that's so surprising to me because, as people, if they don't know, this is his rookie season debut in the SBL. If you look at his profile on any kind of site that does that, it's very obvious he is a one trick on Katarina. But yet we've had veteran players have their pocket picks, like their go to main picks, get through plenty of times. But we're never gonna see this guy try it out at least once. Is Katarina that good, or do people actually fear him on this champion?
I think when you just know a guy has such a high percentage of games played on that one champion, you don't even take the risk, especially when no one else on one trick bronies are being a threat on any champion. Like, what are you going to drop the Katarina ban for? These guys haven't won a game.
That's true. Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, yeah. If the draft was challenging to the point where they needed to make a tough decision on what to let through, then yeah. But yeah, you're right. It seems to be a pretty no-brainer. Ban phase one for them is very straightforward. For KIKAS, that is. And pick so far, first pick overall was Ezreal going over to OTB, followed up by Nami and Ivern for KIKAS, and then we see a Nautilus locked in, and we're gonna see what the third pick for OTB is.
Very soon. Gonna go on to this Ezreal for a little bit. I really don't like that OTB first picked this. I would have really liked them to wait till second or maybe even third rotation to pick for Gabe O'Neill, because I think Gabe O'Neill has been the sole bright spot on One Trick Bronies. I think he's not only been the best player on that team, he's been maybe the best AD carry in the whole league through 4 weeks, in my opinion. And picking Ezreal, you're going to be giving up so much pressure from level 1 onward in laning phase. You're going to be building a tier of the guys. You're never going to do much in lane unless you outplay your opponents. And you're going to against Diamond 2 to Mighty Wolf, who is going to push your asshole in as early as he possibly can. I would have liked to see a little more of the strategy revolve around putting the game in Gabe's hands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess maybe they didn't want to see Wolf's performance on the Ezreal again. It is a champion I believe he's shown so far this season. And it's champion. If he hasn't shown it, we've seen games get carried by Ezreal in the ADC spot. And he seems to be coming back in a strong way into the meta.
I really like Ezreal as a pick in general. I just don't like him as the first overall when your best player is the AD carry specifically. And the Mighty Wolf has not yet played the Ezreal, but I do believe he has a decent amount of ranked games. And I mean, he's Diamond 2. Like, he's...
Yeah.
AD carries in general, I think more so than any other role, when they're good at the role, they can play all the champions.
Oh, yeah. I mean, especially ADC, because the viable champion pool for that role has been so low forever. I mean, since pretty much the whole game, there's very few that are top tier for ADCs in the bottom lane. But to talk about Mighty Wolf, in my opinion, I think he has been playing the best ADC so far this season, and we don't know what ADC he's going to be playing right now, but to talk on Zwerbs for a bit with the Nami, this is a pick he really likes. It's really been his go-to support pick so far. He's been a little hit and miss on it.
He's actually played Lulu 3 weeks straight.
Oh.
He hasn't played the Nami since week 1, which was a loss to Coffee House, and then he's busted up the Lulu 3 weeks in a row. His big thing last week was, undefeated on Lulu, which was only 2-0 at that point, but he was talking it up in Twitch chat himself, and so was one of his friends, I believe. So I'm actually really surprised to see he's going back to this Nami, because he was talking a big game on that Lulu, but then last week, 0-9-5 up against TSA, he looked completely lost versus Master Splinter and friends. So I'm wondering if that game just really kind of tilted that team out of that pick a bit.
Oh yeah, that's coming back to me now. Yeah, I remember that Lulu performance, and I guess maybe this is the reason why he's picking Nami is they're going for a winning lane here with the Mighty Wolf, and we now see the Caitlyn Nami lane, which is incredibly powerful early on,
especially against Ezreal. Oh, Gabe is going to have such a bad time, and it's never going to stop until team fights.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but we'll know how to push that.
Yeah, but look, going a little bigger picture, this kick-ass comp. Holy crap! There is so much defense being built for Thrifty and the Mighty Wolf to carry this game hard. I assume we're going to see a late game high DPS champ coming out of Thrifty as well, because that's a Tom Kench, an Ivern, and a Nami. We might not see either of those carries die in team fights.
Yeah, if they're doing their job well, you're right. That is a very support-oriented. You have the Ivern, Tom, Kench in that front line, and then Nami sitting in the backline, healing up and boosting the power of Caitlyn as much as possible. I I'm interested. Is this a Karthus game?
I was just thinking that. I think this is absolutely a Karthus game, especially going up against the Ziggs. Thrifty is as confident as anyone to go up into a farm off. Maybe he's going to go with the Anivia. Those are the two. Yeah, it looks like he's going to go for the Anivia. I think that's something he's played more recently than the Karthus, but that makes a lot of sense. Oh my god, the Mighty Wolf is... There's no excuse for him to have a poor game here with those picks. Everything is being funneled into let that boy carry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And OTB, their lineup, very heavy front line. A 3-tank composition here with Nautilus, Poppy, Sejuani. Nautilus going into the support role, so a little less tanky than Poppy and Sejuani, but still good in its own right. And the depth charge is really going to be key here for Black Paladin, because you're pretty much only going to go on Caitlyn with that, unless Anivia is caught out and maybe without egg in certain situations. But it's going to be the tanks. I mean, Sejuani, Nautilus, Poppy all have tools to try to get into the backline and lock up Caitlyn, and that's going to be their sole job. Followed up with some mid to late game carry damage from Ezreal and Ziggs.
Yeah, this should be two really fun comps to watch because we have such hard dive versus such hard disengage. And going back to what we were saying way earlier about one-trick bronies, when you're struggling and you're playing with an emergency sub, I find the hard dive kind of comp is the easiest to execute. So I'm really happy they went in that direction. They have Gabe on a carry where he can fend for himself. They've got Beyblade playing Ziggs where he's gonna be able to dish out damage while his tanks are all diving.
Yeah, no, I like this too, because not only is it, like you said, the win conditions intuitive. I kind of want to say that the comp definitely outscales KIKAS. It just really depends on what Caitlyn, or I guess what Mighty Wolf and Thrifty do on their champions respectively.
Not a problem.
Yeah,
there's just there's only 2 damage threats, and if one of them was taken out of a fight, it seems like an easy win for OTB.
You used to be cool.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the scaling on these teams, just because I feel like one-trick bronies are going to have a hard time killing KIKAS's tank line as this game goes on.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's interesting. I feel like these team comps are actually kind of balanced. I mean, they're both trying to do two different things, but it almost like their win conditions balance each other out. It's going to be really exciting, and I don't think any of these. Yeah, the comps are definitely not made for split pushing. So these teams really want to fight. They want to funnel gold into their 2 carries respectively.
Are you as excited as I am for when this game hits like 18 minutes and like each team is taking a tower in the outer lane and all 10 people go to mid lane and no one can push on the Anivia or Ziggs for 20 minutes straight?
oh no! Oh my god, are we gonna Galio rule this? Like,
can that happen in a 5s game?
Oh my god.
Oh man, that'd be awful. For those of you that weren't around 5 years ago when we did our 1v1 tournaments, we invented a rule called the Galio rule, where if a 1v1 game went on long enough that creeps in a side lane took an inhibitor, you had a remake with new picks. Because we had a Galio versus something game where that happens.
Yeah, but that was also in the days before 1v1, the sort of the de facto rule was 100 CS. That was back when we only did first blood and first tower.
Yes, second tower.
Second tower. And the game was I was playing Galio and Tree was playing Gragas, and we just waited. This is old AP Gragas, so we just oh wait, it's called the Nunu rule. Wait, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
There was a new rule. The Gragas, the Galio rule was if that happens 2 games in a row, eventually I think changed to 1 game. If it happened, you had to remake the game with different picks.
Yeah, because we did a draw and then we drafted the same picks.
Yeah, we were like, okay, you guys can redraft, and like neither of you bans the champ that you had just played, and it happened again. I think we streamed the first game and we were like, we're not streaming this again, and we just picked somebody else's match.
Yeah,
good times.
God. Yeah,
there's some Team Swain history for you all.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to these comps, man, this is gonna be really weird when these teams get into fights. Dragons should be very hotly contested in this game, and obviously Baron once that enters into the game. Because both these sides, like, if they get a pick or two, they're going to be able to get onto a turret very fast. But there's so much wave clear, especially out of KIKAS. Like, Anivia and Caitlyn might be the best two champs in the game at their role at wave clearing.
Yeah, especially once Caitlyn gets that Hurricane, it's the wave definitely gets obliterated before a minion could even land a shot on the tower. And so, I mean, really, OTB's lineup is this sort of crazy run at your face. We're going to hit our big ultimates and engage you and lock you in on the 5v5. Whereas KIKAS, they have that Tahm Kench top lane, which I might add, which will function a little bit different than support. But once you get to that mid game, you kind of have to be scared of a Tahm Kench flake. If Tahm Kench brings in Anivia from the backline, or actually even better, maybe it's someone like an Ivern, brings him in from the backline, and Ivern can stand up really close and land that skill shot on a carry, the fight's over, right? Because we talked about these teams only have 2 damage threats. So there's a little more versatility with KIKAS's lineup with maybe some surprise flanks in that sense.
So, looking at Black Paladin on the Nautilus, running the exhaust, how do you feel about that? Because Swerve's taking the Ignite on the other side.
I think that's probably the best. You're not killing anything with Ezreal Nautilus against Caitlyn Nami in lane. I guess you could bring it later on for Tahm Kench. But they at least have the Ignite covered by Sinister Beyblade in the mid lane.
Yeah,
they at least have one.
It's such a weird game to be Black Paladin. I feel like I've never seen a team where exhaust is going to be less important, but I also don't think there's, like, you're the support. There's not something else you can really take.
Yeah, that's true.
And then Zwerves, I really like Zwerves taking that Ignite because I do think there's going to be a lot of kill potential for him and Mighty Wolf.
Yeah, no, I like that too. The Ignite from Thrifty as well, though, that seems like just a sort of a ball, like, not a ballsy, but a very confident Ignite for him.
Yes, that's not an Anivia thing. That's a Thrifty thing.
Right.
He's been doing that all season. He believes he will get kills in lane, and a lot of the time it's happened. I mean, this is a guy we've seen him confidently play into 1v2 situations and walk out trading his life, or even getting a kill and getting out. Thrifty has been as good as ever this season. Almost as good as ever. I'm not going to say as good as ever. He's been pretty good a few times. Mm-hmm. And he hasn't been that good, but he's been the best mid laner in the league.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's even debatable. But that's a talk for another time.
Yeah.
I'm planning on putting out a mid-season awards ballot this next week, so I'll go into it a bit more there.
Cruz Salvia in the chat. Cruz is kicking ass. That is true. He is playing very well. Probably exceeds a lot of expectations of himself. But I mean, Thrifty's on a whole nother level as far as just pure mechanical play and,
the thing is, like,
carrying the game.
I was ready for Thrifty to be a mid-plat player this season because he's barely played. I didn't think he was going to, like, totally fall off and be garbage. Anyone that thought that was an idiot. But, like, he hasn't practiced much leading into this season. He hasn't played a ton in this season. But he's still been able to play at that same level he maintained for years.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really the game knowledge and just the presence and awareness when you're playing this game that can go much further than keeping up to date on your mechanics or keeping up to date with, like, your champion pool. As long as some of your champions are still playable at a somewhat viable rate, he will continually outplay his opponents because he's just played the game at such a high level for so long. He knows when to go in for the fight and knows when to back off. He knows what lanes to push, what towers to take. It's that kind of invaluable experience that helps him carry the games.
I also just want to say this is a lot of really good skins on one loading screen. Very proud of these guys.
Yeah. Wow. This Anivia skin's fantastic. Candy Ivern's, like, pretty much, honestly, that should just be his base default skin. Every LCS game I've ever seen him in, it's always Candy Ivern.
That's one of the best skins Riot's ever made. Definitely
Yeah.
for a launch skin on a champ.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, Master Chef Tahm Kench is a fantastic one. I've never seen this Lunar Wraith Caitlyn, but this must be new.
That's not super new.
Really? I can't...
Caitlyn's got a lot of good skins, man.
She does. That is true.
That's something that I want to say has been out for over a year now. Yeah, One Trick Brony's really holding things back with 3 base skins there. And despite that, I still feel like this is some of the most enjoyable splash arts I've ever seen on one game. So as we hop into this game, to me, the matchup I'm most excited to see is going to be Gabe versus Mighty Wolf, and it's not going to be exciting to watch in lane. So I hope we don't see a ton of bot lane this game. But as this game goes on, the way these two approach team fights, I'm really excited to see how they go at it compared to each other. Because I do think they've been the best 2 AD carries in the league.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. This is definitely lane to watch, our featured matchup of the game. I mean, otherwise your tank jungle, your like support / tank matchups, mid lane's just wave clearing. With both ignites though, so there is potential for some craziness there. But it's really these bot lane carries that the game will come from. And we're gonna be hit with that SBL #pause of the game. Beyblade needs to configure his toaster. Okay. Yeah, toasters are... You can buy some incredibly smart toasters nowadays. You can like hook up your phone, like get notifications like when your toast is done. It's pretty crazy.
Who, if we found out somebody in the SBL was literally playing League of Legends on a toaster, who would that surprise you the least to hear from?
Slice bread.
I was thinking up like all these like stupid people in the league. They'd be like, you just find out they've been playing on a toaster all along, and they'd be LCS caliber if only they owned a computer. But I guess that you found the obvious one. I didn't even think of it.
Yeah, I got my wits about me today.
Thank
Still
goodness.
figuring out mouse issues. Well, luckily, here at the SBL, everyone has an extra set of a mouse and keyboard backstage. So we're just gonna get our refs to come out and hit them with that replacement mouse. So hopefully that'll be fixed soon.
No, we're actually gonna have to remake this game with new picks. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, while we got this pause though going, did you hear about the remake fiasco in the European area of LCS?
I heard it was bad.
Yeah, that was something, man. I didn't know this, but the LCS rules say that, you know, if a bug happens in a game and it's past 20 minutes, the referees can rule that one team was so far ahead that they're gonna give them the game win. And this kind of situation happened. Giants was up like 8K, like 3 Infernals, like they had like a couple inhibs down, and then Vitality encountered some bug. Oh yeah, the Orianna ball. They couldn't see Orianna ball, and so they decided to remake. And there was some salt, to say the least.
Yeah, it's
tough. And then Chrono Break, actually, the thing they used in NA with C9 and FlyQuest, that apparently is not working for Europe yet. So they couldn't do that.
Yeah, you know, they play on the PAL version of League of Legends, so there's a lot of different bugs that kind of come up with that. So
You know,
I'm not surprised.
as someone who recently got into playing with emulators for my home theater PC, I can appreciate that comment.
Well, it's funny because I watch professional Melee, Super Smash Brothers.
Oh wait, the versions are
and
different.
yeah, there's slight differences. So if you're playing in Europe, you play on PAL, and there's a few things that are tweaked from when you're playing in America. So it's
Yeah.
kind of interesting to watch sometimes.
When that is like the frame rate different, or is it like just the game, how the game operates?
I think there was slight balance tweaks, but I'm not 100% sure about it.
Whoa.
But we will not have the time to go into detail
Later.
on
We're gonna talk about that
Melee.
later. I'm very interested in that. Yeah. That would change the whole competitive scene when it comes to international stuff, but maybe not. Maybe not as much as I'm thinking. But as you said, we're back in game here, folks. Loaded onto Summoner's Rift. Both these teams rolling out into the river. KIKAS not spotted out here, but they're gonna make a forward push onto Gabe O'Neill. Oh, Sun lands. They're gonna go in. Will they go down? The Sun comes through. Ignite. Yeah, there it is. First
Gabe
blood.
disrespects the Ivern and doesn't flash the snare that costs him his flash and his life in the long run. Fortunately, that kill goes on to Zwerbs, but still, you don't want to be giving up any advantage to a Caitlyn Nami lane, and he has just done that.
Yeah, I think he skilled Q first. Probably did that right when he loaded into the game. Folks, don't do that. There's just no reason to, because he could have skilled E, arcane shifted away. Take the hit for the first 2 levels. I mean, as Ezreal Nautilus, you're already gonna get beat up. So I think trying to save your life there and not giving up over first blood would have been.
He must
right
have just
choice.
thought that wasn't going to hit him. I mean, that looked like it was the edge of the range, because I think he would have flashed there, but
yeah,
he didn't.
Yep. But I guess we'll see how that converts. All 4 of his teammates getting that assist gold as well. So, but no difference in starting items. So the early laning phase, no difference in actual combat stats.
Man, that's one of the roughest things about getting first blood at level 1. It's like, do I back now and get an advantage at level 1, or do I back early?
Yeah, with supports, I think Zwerbs did the right choice here. You just pocket that and maybe get an early Sightstone or early boots or whatever your strategy is with whatever champion you're playing. Just wait on it. There's really not many things you could buy as a support to gain too big an advantage at level 1. But look at this. Hibs he's pinged out. He's in the enemy blue buff here, and will he get rotated?
He's gonna have a bad time.
Oh yeah, he's completely
a lot of KIKAS showing up in this direction. I don't see any way for him to get out of this one. Level 1 Nautilus trying to help. Probably not gonna do a whole lot as Hibs health bar trickling down. 50 Senpai with the 2nd kill of the game.
Oh boy.
That was dumb. That was so dumb.
Yeah.
That was, you never invade an enemy buff at level 2 when both of the lanes surrounding that buff on your team are being pushed in. And Beyblade and Gabe Paladin were both being pushed in there. That's just, you never ever do that under any circumstance. I don't know anything about the jungle, and I know that.
Yeah, I mean that's just general macro map play right there. You counter jungle with Sejuani on the enemy strong side of the map when your lanes are pushed, like you said. It just doesn't add up. You could even play the best counter jungler in the game, and I still don't think I'd want to do that.
Yeah, just looking at the way there were so many red icons on that minimap coming in with no way for the blue ones to come back up Hibs.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a theory. Maybe Hibs knows that Mighty Wolf boosted him to Diamond, so he's trying to pay him back. Feed his team a kill nice and early.
Ooh, stun lands from Thrifty. He's got the red buff too from that jungle invade that just happened. So will he get it? Yeah, flash auto. Oh.
Yeah, he didn't have the ignite, or he would have had a kill there.
Yeah, it looks like he used the ignite in that earlier jungle catch out, but forces the flash out of Beyblade and forces an early back as well. So Thrifty will get some priority on the lane, push it out, and maybe get a favorable back here.
Yeah, that's gonna be a big wave coming into turret. Ooh, but the Mighty Wolf gets hit by the hook. But oh yeah, you've got an Ezreal, so you're not gonna really follow up on that.
Yep.
Fortunately, Mighty Wolf in too many creeps to be hits with Mystic shots. Yeah, dude, that's a big wave.
Yep.
Beyblade's gonna catch the tail few caster creeps, although Hibs is going to show there. He's gonna be pretty far behind. Obviously, dying early, he blew a lot of time.
Yeah, that's not good for his lanes here. It looks like On the Wind's holding his own here in this tank matchup. Poppy does pretty well in lane on her own. But yeah, there's no way he's going to be walking into mid lane helping out. And yeah, there's nothing to do bot lane as well. So he's just sort of resorted to power farming until he gets to a good place. Probably level 6 on the Sejuani.
So, going over to Tissan Bora Bora, he's first back picking up the Boots of Mobility.
I love it. That's fantastic, yeah. He's just going to roam around the map and go into every lane possible and try to land stuns, blow flashes, get his lanes ahead. Because that's where this game is heading right now. You have your bot lane that's continuously pushing. You have tier now completed on Thrifty. Donate that first blue buff over, and you guys are pushing mid and bot endlessly. Dragon control is all yours. Really like that early pickup there.
Yeah, speaking of Dragon Control, the first one in this game going to be a win. So, but now going over to the mid lane as we see Beyblade getting hit by that super fast Ivern. He has nowhere to go, no flash available. Thrifty putting the wall down for good measure and gets the auto kill.
Yeah, just textbook fundamental gank right there. Nothing Beyblade could do without the flash, and second kill going over to Thrifty early on.
One trick bronies are going to be in for a rough time with Thrifty going off.
Yeah. Yes, they are. Yeah, they're going to have to maybe start pulling out some real risky plays here, just to try to get them back in and gain some kind of advantage.
Okay, we see Thrifty and Bora Bora rotating towards this top lane like they maybe want to set up wards and maybe even look for a dive.
Yeah.
Because on the wind very low.
Yeah, Scotch is pushing in that top. He looked like he tried to push it as fast as possible, so yeah, definitely some communication there about a mid-jungle power dive, but we have Hibbs on the sideline here. Maybe looking at Scotch. It is warded. Hops over.
Scotch
See what
does
he
have
can
a
do.
flash available.
Yep.
Ooh, flashes Hibbs. Very nice.
Yep.
One guy I want to give some credit to here. I know we spent a lot of time talking about how rough of a lane there's going to be for Gabe O'Neal, but 7 minutes in, he's going to be... Oh, he just misses 2 creeps there, but he had been holding dead even this entire time with the Mighty Wolf, who I was really surprised wasn't finding a way to get more pressure down on Gabe.
Yep, and mid lane, Beyblade's gonna get walled off, tries to hop away from the damage, but he uses the Zigzag as a retaliatory move and not gonna be able to pick up anything. That kill going over to Bora Bora. And yeah, no, I agree. I am surprised that they're not pushing this a little bit harder, but Gabe really working the magic here. Must be dodging a lot of these skill shots. Not getting in range of the Nami W is also really big. Nautilus Ezreal, they don't have any innate sustain aside from health pots. And I'd imagine at this point, a really good Nami Caitlyn lane should just have pushed these guys to low health, where they're so scared to get to the
absolutely.
line. Yeah.
I mean, Gabe, he's even not doing bad on mana economy for 8 minutes in. He should have been a long time ago if he was keeping up on CS.
Yeah. Yeah, they just, Zwerps and Mighty Wolf, man, just get in there. But hit them up with these autos, man. Hips just hit 6, so maybe they knew that now. There's a little more threat to be pushing, but yeah, you have to wonder that it might be a slight misplay. They're not pushing this advantage as much as they are.
I wonder, maybe it's Zwerps that hasn't been playing super aggressively because he was, like you said, playing very passively right there.
Yeah. Yeah, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, the ward expired in Tribush. Now the threat is real, but their jungler's on the bottom side of the map. Thrifty and Bora Bora maybe looking to make a little invade here, or looking for another gank onto Sinister Blade.
Yeah, he at least has a flash up now, so he can maybe get out of this next one. It's been a few minutes since he's been able to do that.
Wait, was this red buff donated over to Scotch enough? What is that from? He only had the one assist from the early kill.
Well, he's got Nivern on his jungle, so they get to donate.
Oh yeah,
so, yeah.
Wow, that made this lane really difficult on the win. He's getting extremely low. Oh, yeah, tongue was on cooldown.
If Scotch had his flash there, I think he would have gone for it.
Yeah. Oh.
And now Wind is playing with fire here.
Yeah.
Now that this is an easy dive for Scotch to pull off because he is sitting on the Bomby Cinder, which makes Tower having a little more difficult.
Little encounter there by Beyblade and Bora Bora. Both get away. Yeah, I mean, if the tower dive actually does come, I think Wynn's just going to use his ult and knock him away, but will that be enough time? He has to do it before he gets eaten up, that's for sure. Sejuani gonna miss there from Thrifty, flashes it.
That's a big flash down. Hibbs could probably keep the pressure in that mid lane. He doesn't want Thrifty getting any bigger, and Anivia without a flash, there's a lot of ways you can gank that bird.
So 20 CS lead for Thrifty here in the mid lane. Otherwise, pretty even across the board. I mean, 10 or a little bit less on top or bottom, respectively. But yeah, that big lead is 1,100 gold now for Thrifty over.
Yeah, 1100 for Thrifty, 900 for TSM Bora Bora. That's going to be basically the entirety of KIKAS's lead. And Beyblade's probably about to lose his flash. Oh, maybe not. But Bora Bora is. And now Black Paladin actually coming in this mid lane. Thrifty does not have a way out of this. The depth charge knocking him up. He is about to lose that egg. And we're going to watch the slow, painful DPS. He
they're coming in!
The egg! And now Thrifty Senpai is back up there, turning this around. Daisy is laying the beatdown on a Black Paladin. Thrifty Senpai with his third of the game. Meanwhile, Swerve's finishing off Sinister Beyblade, who thought he had made it out of that fight. He exhausted the egg!
Yeah, wait, I don't know if this is confirmed, but I thought at 7.5 they nerfed exhaust where it doesn't lower the defense anymore.
You are correct.
Oh my god.
Even if it did, I don't know if you could justify blowing exhaust on the egg ever. And now On the Wind is in a lot of danger because here comes the title win. On the Wind flashes but still gets knocked up, then gets knocked up again. Oh, he is taking for so long though, given the Poppy thing. He's gonna barely make it out.
Yeah, real lucky there that Hibbs was there to support. Wind was at least, but yeah, uses ult to disengage as well. But a 6-0 lead here for KIKAS, and they are just roaming around. The enemy red jungle is pretty much theirs at this point, if they choose to do so. And first dragon's gonna be Wind. They might have some. They definitely have priority on it. It's a matter of whether they're gonna start it, and it looks like they are. Thrifty just backed, no teleport.
Anyway, one more thing I want to talk about when we maybe have a moment here. Because of the way bot lane played out, Gabe didn't back for so long. That was really smart out of Mighty Wolf and Swerve to keep pressuring and make Gabe feel like he couldn't back. So he didn't base until, what, 940-ish? He never bought a Tear of the Goddess early, so he just bought his Manamune fairly recently. So he has not started stacking that thing at all. He's currently at 152. Very, very far behind, turning that into a Muramana.
Yeah, so it's not going to be for a while that either of these damage threats from OTB are relevant enough to take even in fair fights. Bora Bora taking the blue away from OTB, but he's going to get slowed and locked up. Yeah, no flash, going to eat some fruit on the way out and heal up, but Thrifty's there for the help. Stage 1 ult locks up both of them there. Teleport comes through from Scotch to help out, and the fight will be diffused.
Yeah, I think that was mostly teleport out of Scotch just to force the enemy disengaged, so it did its job. Until these guys just get back to their lands.
Yeah, he still has that ultimate, so he still has some map mobility that he could use. Maybe to go back into mid lane like he did on that previous gank and turn around. And it's really demoralizing when you're a team and you do get that nice catch Black Paladin with that flash over, getting the hook onto Thrifty. Maybe you guys are like, oh, we're gonna take out this priority target, and then Scott shows up, and you know the bot lane starts roaming, and it's tough because you're so far behind. You can't really do much about that, but you kind of have to expect it at this point.
Man, Thrifty is just putting on a clinic in this mid lane. And if he has normally miss a few more Qs.
Yeah. Yeah, wow, Rod of Age is already completed. Now we're looking at 1700 gold lead here. Mighty Wolf and Gabe O'Neill getting into that extended 1v1. But their support's there to assist. So the 15-minute mark, we got a 4K gold lead for KIKAS here. I don't see that going down anytime soon. This Draken surprisingly still untouched. It is a Wind Drake, so maybe KIKAS not putting a lot of priority into it.
Yeah, that's what I would have to assume, but I still think they should be looking to do it soon.
Yeah. Well, that was a pretty extended noodle fight up there, Scott.
I'm so glad I never played Tanks top extensively, so that when I watched my own VODs, I never had to watch those garbage trades.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. KIKAS now taking that Cloud Drake for free.
It was just a matter of time.
Mm-hmm.
And the next dragon is going to be the Infernal, so I don't think we're going to see that one stick around for as long if KIKAS keep pushing this lead.
Yeah.
Which they're both take bot lane turret here, so they should have control of that pit, 6 minutes from now. Yeah, this is looking very rough for One Trick Brony, and it's not getting any better as Sinister Beyblade takes the Ignite, takes a huge trade, now 3% by flashing out, not going to dodge the Sejuani ult, going to be tossed into egg form, but TSM Bora Bora has shown up and he has brought Daisy with him. True Shot Barrage just going to tickle their health bars, and now a big wall comes out, forces the flash out of Hibs.
I mean, it's pretty much a replica of what happened earlier. They forced the egg out of Thrifty, but at what cost? It's their mid laner's life and a flash from their jungler. There's just not enough damage or follow-up to basically kill the egg at this point. So things are looking rough for OTB. Mid tower going down now, and they got a 3-4 man push on this from KIKAS.
Yeah, they might be able to go for 2 here. Hibs going on a flank maybe, but he does not have an ult available.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's going to take that.
Oh, Scotch actually in the top lane. He's getting maybe beat up by On the Wind, but that passive, yeah, he has to respect it, so he can't stick around and fight.
Yeah, Wind, if he had any mana there, could have easily gone for a kill with his ult, but he was pretty hard
Oh wait, that was a tier 2. Yeah, while that little fight was happening, yeah, that's tier 2 mid gone as well for OTB.
Yeah, not surprised. With Caitlyn and Anivia, it's gonna be so safe for them to siege turrets, and it's gonna just be so tough for OTB because both of their carries are so far behind where they want to be. Ziggs 0-4-0, you don't want to see that. The Ezreal, not as far behind, but like we were saying earlier, late on building that Manamune. Not going to hit the power spikes as fast as necessary, and he's not going to be able to do anything to stop the bleeding until he gets very late into this game.
Yeah, and same goes for Ziggs as well. He has that first completed item, but it's still nowhere near enough to pump out the consistent damage to not only keep wave clearing on his own, but to even do damage to the enemy team. It's still very low for him. No Sorcerer's Shoes as well. Now they rotated Mighty Wolf into the mid lane here. Maybe they're gonna go top here. Ping's going down onto On the Wind. That tier 1 top lane is the target for KIKAS.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they're just accepting they're going to trade top for bot turret here, and they know they have a chance of getting multiple kills here, which will turn into 2 turrets.
Oh yeah, all 5 are coming up,
finally see the arrival, and Poppy going to get eaten up and spat out very far away from that turret. He's being CC locked. Hibs drops the ult, but Wind is dead, and I don't think KIKAS has any reason to stop, as they are going super deep on this turret. Hibs stunned up, knocked up, and a double kill onto Mighty Wolf.
Yeah.
And Gabe O'Neal didn't even keep pushing that bot lane, so they get nothing in return. And I think this will easily be the tier 2 for KIKAS.
Yep. Yeah, Gabe probably would have been best just to stay down there and get that solo lane XP and farm and get some damage on the tower. I don't think he would have gotten it before KIKAS rotated a resource over there. But oh my god, look at the brush! That's so much from Ivory. Did he level that up early?
Brush lane.
Yeah, Ziggs ult comes through. But the tower's already gone. There's no wave to clear, just enemy champions, but still not enough damage to do anything relevant. And KIKAS will walk away with 2 towers under their belt. 2 more towers, so 5 total for them. It's a real runaway game here for KIKAS.
Yeah, 8.5k at 20 minutes is it's a pretty big lead.
Yeah.
I feel like this is where LS tweets out, "It's actually not a big enough lead given the comp that they have," and everyone on Reddit's just blowing up about it.
Yeah, oh, I know. Zach actually sent a message to LS to get him to VOD review one of these games.
Oh no!
I don't know if he replied. Zach, if you wanna, maybe in Twitch chat, give us a yes or no, whether he got back to you.
You know when you watch like a really uncomfortable like comedy where it's just supposed to make you feel awkward and bad for the characters? Yeah. That's what LS bot reviewing Yes Now would be like. It would be painful to be a part of, and I don't know if I'd enjoy it, but part of me would.
All right, can confirm he has not even opened the tweet or the message or whatever how that works. I don't use Twitter. I
guess
should use it though.
It's time for we gotta raise some Skrilla. That's how this stuff works. He's a professional, man. He ain't doing that stuff for free.
Oh no, we were very willing to pay, but we just need him to have notice that we are asking Senpai LS to show us the way, show us our ways here. Black Paladin, he walks up with that 5-man depth charge, but how will this fight come out? Redemption for KIKAS. Exalt in the back. Oh, but the lockup from Sejuani, and that's the wombo combo OTB was looking for. On the win, channels the Papio and knocks out the pet from Ivern. Thrifty gets knocked into the wall. He is now in egg form. On the win, and Gabe O'Neal have the damage, but Ivern is still alive. Still, the pet is taking Gabe O'Neal. Double bust, but he goes down to Bora Bora. The fight is still going. It's a 3-for-3 right now. Bora flashes to auto! He survives! And his pet's still alive. It's still going. This fight is the 1v2. Daisy, yes! On the wind. Will he survive this against Scotchanaut? I don't think it will. Tongue Lash is going to come out here, or the eat, and yeah, he's going to be gobbled up. So
that was so unfortunate for One Trick Bronies. That was their perfect team fight, and they still lose more than they get in a 4-for-3. And KIKAS is going to immediately get onto this Infernal Dragon as well.
Yep, easy take here from the Dragon. Well, actually, Black Paladin's coming in here. It's only down to 3,000, but they have... Oh, Jungler and Jungler's here.
Yeah, Hibbs is there. He has the flash and the dash if he wants to go for this steal. But he is looking like he wants to. And yep, Hibbs jumping into the pit, going for this 50-50, but not going to get it. He's going to have to flash out. Yeah. Swerve's also flashed away.
Yeah, he did get off the smite, though. So it might have been close in some reality. But yeah, not going to go OTB's way this time around. But that was a fight that went well for OTB. They landed their wombo combo.
Can somebody in Twitch chat write down 21 minutes into this game? I think this is the game I'm going to do the Batty team fight breakdown for, because that last team fight was atrocious.
Yeah.
Beyblade just gets caught out for the 100th time this game, man. He is unlucky, man. Very unlucky to be less skilled than Thrifty Senpai.
Yeah, 4-man push from KIKAS on this tier 2 bot. Thrifty just pushing up the wave in mid lane and will most likely meet his comrades down there as well. Hibbs with that Sejuani ult back up once again. He's been landing them. He's not been pulling Xmithies. He's been landing the Sejuani ults, but his team, honestly, they're just ramping up to follow up with it.
That last team fight, if Black Paladin hadn't blown that fight so hard, I think OTB would have won that, and they could have started clawing back into this game.
Yeah. They could have got an Infernal Drake from that as well, so that's a very good start for a comeback. Gives you some more late game assurance with damage and all. Kind of a weird spread here, Scotch. So both teams are looking at tier 2, but OTB, they might be venturing too far away from their tower. They might be getting baited really hard into this fight. Oh no.
Wind walks right through the traps.
There it is. Here's the flank from KIKAS. Scotch. Oh, Sejuani lands onto 3 members from KIKAS. The wave comes through. Can OTB rally around and sync up and win this team fight? We had to forfeit. Beyblade's PC died. Oh, man. So Caitlyn ult comes through onto Hibbs. Double kill for him. And, yeah, I think there's going to be a forfeit, or at least a, forfeit coming up here soon. KIKAS not losing a single member in that 4-for-0 trade. Oh, Zig's ult comes through. A lot of blinking red health portraits there. Ooh. Yep, so this was a very decisive win here for KIKAS.
Yeah, they looked like they had just total control of this game. And I guess let's look at the bright side. If we're going to have a forfeit, it might as well come in a game like this with the team that was losing. I would much rather see that than some of the other types of forfeits we've seen over the years.
Yep. No, I'm so glad that this wasn't a game that meant anything. Yeah, OTB taking the forfeit loss here. Unfortunately, it is sad when you have to see that happen where you can't play it out but not the end of the world. Didn't think the comeback was real. Wait, his Beyblade's on a road trip and doesn't have his charger. Nice.
That is some 2008 My Wang shit. Holy crap.
Is that what he did?
We'd be back in the day. We'd be raiding and be like, you get to the first boss, all of a sudden his laptop would just start screaming at him because it would do this really loud, low battery beep. It was every single week. He'd be like, "Oh, I gotta run home and grab my charger." Shit, guys, it was funny as hell.
Okay. Oh well, who do you think we should talk to here?
It's got to be Thrifty, man.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, we've talked to him a couple times, but you're right. I mean, he really.
That's fine, dude. This is gonna be his last season. We got to get as many of these in as we can, right?
That's okay. That's true. Yeah. Thrifty, if you're hearing this, come on up. Otherwise, I'll shoot you a ping here.
Yeah, I just messaged him.
Okay.
I mean, he was the hard carry in that game, and he set up so much of that himself. He was absolutely the ball that got that game rolling.
User joined your channel.
So for that,
How's it
we'll
going,
bring
guys?
him in again. And what's it like carrying, man?
Feels good. Feels good.
So going into today, obviously you knew about all team captains knew about the emergency sub situation with Black Paladin. Honestly, did that change anything for you?
No, it didn't really change anything. We weren't planning on dropping bans on their support anyways. We saw that there were some people who wanted. People were like, knee-jerk reaction, new guy. Let's just ban the crap out of him. We're just like, no, we're good. So we just kind of continued with our normal game plan. Just kind of treated it like it was the same.
Yeah, that seemed like the smart move here. As far as this composition goes, it is you guys drafted Nami, Ivern, and Tom Kench as your first 3 picks, and they're all very support-oriented or tank, offering a lot of utility and a lot less damage. Was this the intention going in with the 2 damage threats, or is this just how the draft played out nicely for you guys?
It was partially the intention, and then also kind of just like how the draft was playing out. But if we can keep me and Wolf alive in fights, we're just not gonna have we should be able to win the vast majority of them. So that was just kind of our goal. It's like, all right, well, we have some big tanky dudes on the front line who can engage and then also peel like crazy. And it just also happens to be comfortable champions for them, so makes for a good combination.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys moved to 3-2 on the season. Next
User
week
disconnected from your channel.
you are playing Coffee House. So the next week is the start of the second round robin.
Yep.
How do you feel about Coffee House next week?
Coffee House is a good team. They're one of the 2 teams that beat us in the last rotation. I think both of our teams have. They've really established they've only lost to the TS8 squad, which is I think us 3 are very clearly the top 3 teams in this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really excited to see how it plays out. I'll be a little less rusty than I was the first week, so I'm looking forward to that just because I've actually played, a couple games of League a week instead of the last month before the start of this where I didn't play at all.
Yeah. I mean, so let's talk about that for a little bit. Are you really back in this? Are you invested? Do you feel the same passion you've had in past seasons?
To be honest, no. But
that's like telling your newest girlfriend, I've had better romps in the past.
Yeah, or she's gonna be I love you, and you just kind of look at her neat.
You're I've loved a lot of people,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, I am definitely I'm more involved than I was for sure at the beginning. At the beginning, I was just all right, I will play my game each week. I'll maybe play 1 or 2, so I'm not total garbage. And right now, I'm all right, SBL is fun. This is pretty sweet. I like my team. We're doing pretty good. I like this, but I'm not nearly as involved as other. I think that's just because I've been playing League of Legends for the last 7 years. So
Yeah, I can't blame you there. It is still a game that I really enjoy. I really enjoy to
Yeah.
watch it and analyze it, and I do enjoy
Yeah.
playing it. But yeah, it's after this many years, man. It just
No.
you can only go start the Summoner's Rift
Yeah.
at loading screen so many times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong though, like it is still fun. Like going back to your first your girlfriend romp analogy. I mean, like it's still a good romp. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you're having a good time still. It's just not it's just not the best romp.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Alright, well, Swift, you got any hard-hitting questions
No,
there?
I think we had all the points that needed to be hit, so
Yep.
we'll get on to this next one.
Alright, yeah.
Congrats on the win, and stay tuned, folks, for Game 2. It's going to be TSA, the undefeated first-place team against QBC. We'll be
All
right
right.
back.
Then